Hey, welcome to theology class. I guess this is weird. I miss you guys. I love you guys, and so this is what we're going to be doing for the foreseeable future. I guess, at least for the next couple of weeks, we're going to be doing this book, which is backwards, so that's not real helpful to you. It says The Great Divorce, and it's by C.S. Lewis, and it is a nice bridge into what we're going to be talking about in the fourth quarter as we transition from sacraments into morality. Um, you have a couple of discussion questions you should be answering on Sapphire in the class page. Just click on the link. Uh, I guess you already found it since you had to click on the link to get here. But if you didn't, I don't know what to tell you. Just, yeah, it's there. Anyway, um, what's going to happen? You have two assignments, one short term, which is your discussion questions. You're going to do four of those. And then you have a long term one, which is not due for another month. And that is to create an infographic for the seven sacraments. Just click on the link for that, and you'll figure out what the assignment is. If you have any questions, email me. It's jmotley, Motley, at acchs.info. And I think that's it. So, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be reading. For those of you that don't like to read, maybe you like to hear me read instead. I don't know. Maybe. It's a little bit of human contact, interaction, which is nice. I think all of us kind of crave that right now. Even me, I feel like I was probably built for this. Like, stay away from me. I'm happy with that. But I love you guys and I miss you guys. So let's get to it. So, C.S. Lewis, and he gives us a nice preface to get us into what's going to be happening in this book. So, here's the preface. Blake wrote The Marriage of Heaven and Hell. If I have written of their divorce, this is not because I think myself a fit antagonist for so great a genius, nor even because I feel at all sure that I know what he meant. But in some sense or other, the attempt to make the marriage is perennial. The attempt is based on the belief that reality never presents us with an absolutely unavoidable either or. That, granted skill and patience, and, above all, time enough, some way of embracing both alternatives can always be found. That mere development or adjustment or refinement will somehow turn evil into good without our being called on for a final and total rejection of anything we should like to retain. This belief I take to be a disastrous error. You cannot take all luggage with you on all journeys. On one journey, even your right hand and your right eye may be among the things you have to leave behind. We are not living in a world where all roads are radii of a circle, and where all, if followed long enough, will therefore draw gradually nearer and finally meet at the center. Rather, in a world where every road, after a few miles, forks into two, and each of those two into two again, and at each fork you must make a decision. Even on the biological level, life is not like a river, but like a tree. It does not move towards unity, but away from it, and the creatures grow farther apart as they increase in perfection. Good, as it ripens, becomes continually more different, not only from evil, but from other good. I do not think that all who chose wrong roads perish. I do not think that all who chose wrong roads perish, but their rescue consists in being put back on the right road. A sum can be put right, but only by going back till you find the error and working it afresh from that point, never by simply going on. Evil can be undone, but it cannot develop into good. Time does not heal it. The spell must be unwound bit by bit, with backward mutters of dissevering power, or else not. It is still either or. If we insist on keeping hell, or even earth, we shall not see heaven. If we accept heaven, we shall not be able to retain even the smallest and most intimate souvenirs of hell. I believe to be sure that any man who reaches heaven will find that what he abandoned, even in plucking out his right eye, has not been lost. That the kernel of what he was really seeking, even in his most depraved wishes, will be there, beyond expectation, waiting for him in the high countries. In that sense, it will be true for those who have completed the journey, and for no others. To say that good is everything, and heaven is everywhere. But we at this end of the road must must not try to anticipate that retrospective vision. If we do, we are likely to embrace the false and disastrous converse and fancy that everything is good and everywhere is heaven. But what, you ask, of earth? Earth, I think, will not be found by anyone to be in the end a very distinct place. I think earth, if chosen instead of heaven, will turn out to have been, all along, only a region in hell, and earth, if put second to heaven, to have been from the beginning a part of heaven itself. There are only two things more to be said about this small book. Firstly, I must acknowledge my debt to a writer whose name I have forgotten, and whom I read several years ago in a highly colored American magazine of what they call science fiction. The unbendable and unbreakable quality of my heavenly matter was suggested to me by him, though he used the fantasy for a different and most ingenious purpose. His hero traveled into the past, and there, very properly, found raindrops that would pierce him like bullets and sandwiches that no strength could bite. Because, of course, nothing in the past can be altered. I, with less originality but I hope equal propriety, have transferred this to the eternal. If the writer of that story ever reads these lines, I ask him to accept my grateful acknowledgement. The second thing is this. I beg readers to remember that this is fantasy. It has, of course, or I intend it to have, a moral. But the transmortal conditions are solely an imaginative supposal. They are not even a guess or speculation at what may actually await us. The last thing I wish to do is to arouse factual curiosity about the details of the afterworld. C.S. Lewis, April 1945. So that's the preface. Tomorrow we'll be delving into Chapter 1. I'll have some more questions for you on the forum. I miss you again very much. I love you guys, and Mrs. Motley's over here. You can't hear her, but I guess I could turn the camera towards her. And I know you guys miss her too. Not me so much, but that's okay. And I hope to hear back from you guys soon. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to give those questions in your responses. I'll be looking at them. You can email me and talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day.